Welcome everybody to another broadcast of the American Rishi Mahjong League. We're hopping into a game that just started from the B2 division in session 6. It is the time of the year where everyone gets one more session, one final chance to make their way into the promotion zone or the relegation, escape the relegation zone. And currently, it is Tucker from the stable, who is in the upper portion of the league, currently sitting in one of those guaranteed spots at plus 177.5. Dennis chasing at a plus 1.2 will want to get a positive finish for the season at the very least, but hopefully just pop off with a big score. Same can be said for Ada and Isabella, who both are looking for positive runs in this series. And this is game 1 of 4, the final 4 games for these players. Isabella was the first dealer, sitting to the left. Our current dealer, Dennis, won the first hand with an open 2000 and is going for more here with the door pair out. On the right, Ada is holding a single to the door, and across the table, Tucker aiming for Ricci with Ipeko as well. I'm joined by Dustin to watch these games. We just battled it out, Dustin A1. You had a very nice session, and now we get to watch these players. Expecting anything special in this series?
I was expecting better from Dennis. I mean, this is good, but throwing that green dragon first. I know it is the indicator, but not even dreaming a little bit with that. Not even a little bit.
You knew that we were going to watch Dennis, who is also from the same DC area as you, and so you had to come and commentate his game, right?
Yeah, and Ada actually could have taken a temp by, but throwing that Dora for a middle Kanchan be a little too crazy. Maybe not crazy enough for Ada, but managed to avoid dealing in now. And especially when his hand looks like it has to have Chanta or some sort of Yaku, but is the two-sided Ricci Pinfu tempting enough? Surely not.
Chun looks really suspicious, but
oh no,
it's gonna come out.
Oh, and that's a Hanema.
With the Chanta for 3, it'll be a Mongon. 12,000 points though for Dennis. And yeah, Ada definitely recognized that the Chun was a bad tile and declined the first tempai, but the power of the Diamond Pinfu was just too strong there.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done the same thing. Because Sanso is your tempai tile. You just have to go for it.
Yeah, it's very, very true. And well, Dennis will get a repeat, and this opening set of tiles looks very pretty, at least in terms of your tempai chances. Feels like you should be getting there pretty quickly. And now you get Tanya as well.
Dennis. Not a believer of 2-3-4 Sancho.
Not when Nathaniel's watching.
Yeah. Not a believer of just efficiency.
No, he knows. He knows. It's a fast tempo.
But for Tanya only, that's Dennis. You're calling for...
All right, here's what you can do. You can watch Tucker's tiles across the way and see... Okay, there's the Chuso.
Yeah, well...
That would be 2-4 Sancho Tempai.
Not believing in West when it was Dora, and then they're in the West seat. I'm not happy about that either. And that...
So this is actually one of the unique things about Session 6, actually, as Tucker finds Tempai. We'll probably not take the Ricci here. And that is, Tucker's in a position right now where they just don't really have to do anything. If they could just guarantee to not gain or lose any points for the rest of the 4 games, they'd be perfectly happy with that. Which means I think if there's an opportunity to cut an honor tile Dora where they don't really need the Dora to win the hand, then they're probably going to make that move and just eliminate some of the rare ways that they deal in for a big hand, which is to greed the Dora for a little too long and then deal in on it. So I think this is actually part of Tucker's strategy to cut that West so early.
Yeah, but you could also just not throw it if you're that worried about it.
That is true. I think Tucker also wanted to try to win the hand and had a reasonable chance at it, so there's a sort of hedge in between those two options. Speaking of winning the hand, though, 2 Yaku high pairs. Green Dragon, Red Dragon. Also a Chanta chance here, so we could be seeing something very similar to what Dennis pulled in East 2-0. Although for Dennis it was, a Mungon.
Boom.
Right. So surprisingly, Ada's hand also looking like a Chanta, but not quite as good without a Yakuai.
I love this from Tucker. It would be normal, I think, to cut the 2-pin and aim for the call of the Red Dragon, so that you could end on the 1-4. So wait, but instead he holds the 2-pin for Sanchoku, and I appreciate that.
Dennis greeting for the Tanyao, misses out on the double and Totsu weight. Actually, no, that would just be a regular in Totsu.
There is a it's just gonna be another Tanyo Tenpai.
Yeah, this one, it's late enough to be acceptable.
And it can win on 3-mon. Which is not, it's no Sanzo, but it's gotta be worth something.
It's almost good enough. And Tenpai for this Chanta, I guess it can't be Red Dragon since Red Dragon is dead. So only winning on 9-mon, but that is still available in the wall.
Just this extra 7-pin acceptance worth holding it.
Oh, thinking about
Boom.
yeah, probably. I would think Tucker would have seen that 5-mon Tadashi, but it's actually only one Yakuhai in Shanta. No, there's also Dora, so it's probably worth, especially if you think Dennis is just open Tanyo again, which should happen to me, but
Yeah.
could have been worse.
Unless that 6 Delta into an Entotsu shape, where the 3-mon like Anko is the other side of it, it's also probably not going to deal into too much. So that was an EV play. Just guessing that they didn't have multiple Doras. In fact, there were no Doras in that hand, so a relatively inexpensive deal in. However, that sends Tucker down below 30k, down to 25.9. So definitely has to be considerate of the fact that you're approaching the 4th place mark. However, Tucker can afford to take a 4th place and still be in very good position in the B2 division. So just going to continue to play solid, not worry about it too much.
Yeah, unfortunately Dennis has the Dora pair of sorts, but it's also Mochi Mochi on the Haku.
Because the Dora pair comes in this 1-2-3-3 shape, I was going to ask if you ever consider a Chi-Toy, but Dennis has other plans. Let's just go Toy.
It's definitely hedging it, which I'm not really like throwing the 3-mon from 355. I think you would throw the 8, so
it really looks like
6-8, but
he's going all out on the Atosuke and planning to cut 1-pin, 2-pin. And, he's been accepting these relatively inexpensive hands to maintain the dealership. If he gets a 7 Sochi, he might even just cut the door and Sam Tenpai.
Yeah, I could see that. It'd be a little sad. I would just start cutting the 1-2 there, and I wouldn't want anything less.
Well, this fixes the issue.
Yeah.
Now we can hold all of those shapes and look for the Haku. Richi out from Ada. It will be Richi, Pinfu, potentially Ipeko on the 4-mon. Not many tiles for this weight left in the wall. There's one, right. I believe. One
and
final
it's
7.
Not even the Ipeko side.
I wonder if this Richi, though, will bait a Haku cut, pair cut from Ichigo.
I would think so if there's nothing better.
Oh,
especially with a second Richi out.
With the 3-sided weight, Tucker's going to take this fight.
Oh, wait, that's Senpai throwing the Dora.
Dora Giri! What a cut! That's bravery from Isabella, but she needs to take her
Sumo.
chances. Ipatsumo from Tucker will shut down all the hands. Reach Ipatsumo Pinfu no Ira, but still, an exciting hand that gets up to manga level with all the Richi sticks that were in the middle of the table. Homa as well.
Yep. Could have won the Sansa, but didn't even need it.
Fantastic fighting spirit from this table. We didn't even get to look at Isabella's weight. I think it was included the Haku as part of the weight, so Dennis managed to avoid dealing in with his own Haku cut.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't quite process that, but
I think the 3-mon was drawn into Tenpai from a 2-2-2-4 shape, so it was maybe an input 2-2-5 Haku.
That I think would have to be it.
But okay, dealership moves on to Ada.
Yeah, the Dora was killed off early on.
And for speed here, notably holding on to this 1 pin. Perhaps with the idea that if you draw a 3-pin, you can find a down cut shape, 1-3-5. Double Kanchan, not bad. Although it looks like with the way the rest of the hand has completed, that's not so necessary anymore.
Yeah, this sand is looking still a little sad for the dealer. Kind of that 4-mon helps, but I mean, 2 Conchons this late is not great. It's still, yeah, 2 Shanten. I don't even know if I really want to keep the 7-9, so with 2 8s is out at this point.
Yeah, it's always the tricky question because the players who have discarded it, in this case, Isabella and Dennis, they can't use it again. So if you do Ricci with it and they draw it, they'll just be stuck with it unless you know, if they want to fight, then it might come out. But there's only 2 of them. One of them's being held by Tucker. Or you just feel it. You just feel the last one.
Yeah, but might deal in this random 8-mon Tonki, but avoids it for now because you can get the Itsu, and yeah, that's very understandable.
Oh, this feels like a switch. Nine-pin Tonki. Oh, what's really better good here? Certainly the 5-pin's got to be better than the 6. Or not.
Gee.
I'm a little bit worried about 50-10 if we draw the 5, so. But of course, if we draw the 7, we're perfectly fine. Although the 8 so isn't very live.
Yeah, it's just like it. There's not a. I mean, you got one of the last 8s, but so you like get 7 so, and then you get someone to throw a 5 so, and now a 0 out or a 0 left 8 so.
Yeah, perhaps this is just saying I'm going to make this Itsu happen, and yeah, well, and 9 so is just the safe tile to cut when this happens.
It's 1 left, 1 7-mon left. It's not a Ricci, not even on. Oh,
no!
Wow, Dennis. So it is. That's not Tenpai, but
yeah, that got sniped. I think Dennis was cutting from a pair cut, and if Ada recognized it, that's a very clever damo.
Right. Even without that, it's just like 1 winning tile left.
I think you could even make an argument with that 1 winning tile left to slam the Ricci so that the open hands have to think about whether they really want to take this challenge or not. Because you really want to keep your dealership as Ada, so that feels like an intentional snipe almost.
Yeah, plus Ada could use points, so getting a bit of a buffer, especially being last of the Sanchan, just getting people to possibly back off. But I guess if that Ricci did come out, Dennis would have just thrown the safe Hatsu, and that would deal into the Tonki, though. So it ended up working out in the end.
Very clever. And now Ada aiming for Honitsu. This is an Ada classic. Every hand could be Honitsu, especially in Aka Nashi. That red fives?
Well, with the way that hand was formed, I think it's just. I think anyone could play that Honitsu. I guess you don't
That's
really
very true,
have
yeah.
to.
It did look very Honitsu. But I found watching Ada's games that, you know, there's always a little extra emphasis on that. Just extra value production there.
Yeah,
Now,
I guess
there aren't any value Yakuhai in this hand, so it could just be Honitsu only, but that's totally fine.
you have to foresee the Chanta. That's your extra
Aha,
value right
foresee the
there.
Chanta. You're right.
It's
If you
right
get
there.
2-pin, 7-pin, the weight on a Tonki West or Chin, then you absolutely can do that.
Or you draw a 4-pin, 7-pin, and then you Rinshan.
That would be another route for bonus value. Why not get it all? Why not get like
But there's a Fu.
an Anko of one of these dragons and then Khan and reach on the 7-pin?
That might be a little ambitious.
That might be a little bit too much. Well, Dennis
I
here
guess it's
is
technically alive.
Tenpai and says declare Ricci is too ambitious.
Yeah, you don't want to take that Tempai in a bad way.
It does have the benefit, since Ada can't use the 3-mon whatsoever,
Yeah,
you have 2
Although-
drawing pools towards the win.
with none of the 3-mon out, that's actually perfectly fine.
At the same time, you don't really want to be, you're in first place. You don't need to pressure against this dealer Honitsu. Could be Honitsu Toy Toy. That's really scary.
Maybe
And Totsu. How's that look?
Each.
It's pretty good. I mean, you can win on Sanso.
Yeah, too good to pass up.
Come.
There's the Khan.
Oh, the
Almost
Khan,
the
not-
Rinchan. Very close.
Gets another door out though.
And this is the value path. Not quite the Toy Toy, but get 16, 22 Fu. So we're looking at 50 Fu on a Roan. And then an extra Han, so 350. 96. Excellent.
Or just get another Dora for the full Mongon.
Oh my. What you choose to do here? You can wait 5-8, cutting the 9. Feels like the normal thing to do. Oh, but it just goes for the 8 itself.
Oh.
Because the 6-pin is Genbutsu, maybe?
Right, but I would just, especially on a terminal Suji, I think that's good enough to just throw the 9 and get your higher win rate.
Yeah, with the bonus Dora, the second Dora, we don't need to think about the extra Fu for 96 anymore. This is also this is the path to Toy Toy. If the 5-pin comes out, you don't get to win on it, but you can call it for Toy Toy.
Yeah, that might have been the plan, but it's still maybe a little too greedy, but wouldn't have ended up mattering anyway.
Yeah, the 5-8.
People were not going to drop that 8-pin.
Absolutely not.
It's just if Dennis got unlucky enough to draw a 5-pin or not, but avoided it.
I can guarantee you, Dennis was okay with the EV Ricci until the con happened, and all of a sudden, he may have been regretting that a bit.
Just a little bit.
I mean, on one end, the con gives you extra unit chances. So if you're an optimistic player, you might be somewhat happy, but I know if I was in his seat, I would just be scared because I know there's at least one door in that Honitsu hand. We saw a very early North call from Isabella. What is this hand going to be? Looks like a Chanta.
Likely to be Chanta, yeah. Not really good on the value, but
Drew a triplet. Now that doesn't really help a Chanta, so she'll throw it back. However, there was a small lot of Toy Toy. Maybe you can like a 9-pin to hedge.
us. Oh, and hmm, getting a 9 so feels pretty bad. It's like you could have went toy toy, but
Boom.
Yeah, you definitely would have had to make a decision once you drew that 9 so whether it was going to be a toy toy or not. Because that 8 so Anko, um, if you keep that, it must be toy toy, and so you have to decide what your last pair is going to be.
Boom.
And it's not so easy. At least the direct Shanta gives you the most flexibility, I guess, in terms of which shapes to keep, at least.
yeah. Oh, Ada keeping the 9
Boom.
mon. She already threw. I'm not sure why. It's like anything you connect to it is furry 10. That ends up drawing the Dora, so I guess you'd be roughly the same place anyway.
Now it just needs a connector for the door, and all will be good. Tucker, very wide shapes looking for the south.
Gets the south.
Ooh, now you get to decide. We'll probably prefer the 5/8 pin weight. Well, the 5 pin is safer cut against the Chanta.
Right. Yeah, don't want to feed the possible Chanta, especially with this hand.
1.
This will slam Richie Pinfu. Right next to the Richie tile, and Tucker, as expected, backs away. Temp across the table for Isabella as well on that 3 mon. Just Suji to the Richie.
Oh, wait. Oh. Yeah, the 9 pin came out like just before or after, rather, so that has to feel a little bad.
Tucker's considering whether or not to call this 5 mon back into Tempai Fidi 10 on the south. Or even call it and cut south for Tanyao. Ends up redrawing the Tempai.
Furry 10? Yep, Tempai is Tempai.
Isabel was jamming her Tempai and will deal into Richie Pifu Uda. Or 3,900 plus sticks. Of course, she's in a position where she'll take most fights if she can get them.
Right, but they should still, like, at least be worth taking. I guess the Chanta, well, it was like 2/6 Hama in the middle. I guess it's arguable, but could have been a lot worse. Did get hit by the Ura.
Yeah,
It was
it's
like a
always
full
scary when you're
Magon
jamming a
and
door for
Squeeze
that as well.
bad.
Sure. This hype for an East 4 for Tucker. Not bad. Just gonna read this East a little bit. Around the table. Everyone's got reasonable hand here. I think I wouldn't be too upset about playing any of these hands, but Tucker definitely the advantage. Each on that already. Would love to turn like this 6 mon into a 5/6/6 shape or a 6/6/7 shape. Would be great.
Right, but now you just throw the East here.
You're gonna have a decision to make actually in the future. Do we continue to go with this Haku plan, or do we just aim for Tanyao?
I mean, if you didn't have like this Intotsu shape, like if you had Wuriamen, I guess I might be sold. But it's kind of like you do get the guaranteed value, but it's also not a great weight. No, this one.
It's Adora. It's
5 so Tucker. Like it's very unlikely, but it's like you could get slides to a Sanjaku somewhere.
yeah. We'll just holding out for the 3 mon draw perhaps. Oh, and look, somehow Ada has ended up with Chinitsu.
Boom.
Trying to get it. Yeah, Tucker did notably see they could have called that 6 mon for Onitsuke, but did not. Now that you have your guaranteed Yaku, 1 6-mon, 1 4-pin, and every 7-pin. Well, 3 of them are in the wall still, so that looks very good.
Yeah, from Tucker's perspective, this weight looks great. From our perspective, we're only looking at 7 pins. And there are 3 in the wall.
Reach.
Okay, we'll just take this reach. He decides it's too late.
See, did that have a Yaku? No. This jams the half Suji 5-pin. It's a 7-pin for double run, but that probably doesn't come out. If it's late, you could just have enough safe tiles to fold with.
Reach.
Dennis.
This is a challenge Ichigo will make.
Yeah, that is a tempai actually.
Oh, but
he gets Sadama through.
just got there. Just got there before the Force came out.
I guess
Dennis will steal away the
Reaching
points.
your Pinfu at that point, it's like
I think Dennis learned his
4,000
lesson
versus 3,000. It's like fair enough, but
from the first one, he's like, I slammed a Ricci, and then all of a sudden the hand became scary. So let me just not do that again.
But I mean, actually, with that, I think with that shape, if you Ricci, you get wider than like you don't necessarily get Pinfu. So I would have Ricci that because you had like 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you could win on the 5 as well.
Certainly, the more complex the shape, the more willing people are generally to Ricci. But against 2 Riccis, just aiming for the defensive approach here. And well, dealership passes on to Isabella. Tight race now for 3rd and 4th, but she's not really thinking about that. It's more of how many points that she can collect.
Yeah, and it's going to say
Each.
Tucker's hand is looking very good and does get Tempai, Ricci, Pinfu, Dora, possible Tanyo.
Yeah, and that's frustrating as the dealer in a sort of must-win situation. Is it possible to just back away from this hand, or do you just fight it all the way through?
You can try, but it's not looking great. And the Chun Chun is pretty much, yeah, just accepting it's not happening.
Yeah, there's other ways to go about this. You can 1-so, 6-so, and like think about Chitway.
Right, I guess. So that's one of your tiles. I guess if you really are that scared of the 3, 6, 9 pin Suji, but throws 7-mon.
So not completely out of it. Really just wants a 6-pin to come out. If Tucker could just draw a 6-pin and discard that.
So like, the problem with this is like you already threw 2, so you can immediately furry 10 on that side if you don't fill that in. Whereas if you actually went for the Chi Toy, I don't know if you could have. No, I guess you could have folded with 4-1 so earlier. Yeah, you could be 1 away right now.
Sumo. There's the
but yeah, the Takame Sumo.
You know, would be Hanuman. Oh, mine's 2.
Let's get 2. You don't really need to. There were quite a few chances for 2 there actually, but would only make a difference if the Sumo was the 9s. So
that's kind of a big deal for. Well, less so for Tucker and more so for Dennis, who now has a serious contender for that 1st place mark.
Home.
Right. But gets the Hatsu pawn. Could set up the Suji trap on the 7-mon now, but would give up Dora acceptance. Yeah, 7-so is normal there.
Yeah, 2, 4, 5, 7, like the 3rd worst shape in the game.
No. Gives up the Dora acceptance.
And the question is, like, will
That's
this
fair
six
enough.
pin bear fruit? Well, sort of.
Yeah.
We're not thrilled about this shape, but I foresee a Honitsu out of this hand.
That is a possibility, or you could just you get
Chi.
your bad tempai and then you just draw a 6 pin to get a decent tempai.
I think if he got that 8 pin draw before the 6 pin was cut from Isabella, this would be a Honitsu hand. The timing was just a little bit
Or
off.
this also works. 6 9 pin. 2 6s, 2 9s, but probably expecting to win on the 9 anyway.
A little thought here from Isabella about going for a Toy Toy. Declines. Wants the Ricci and the Dora.
Or
Unfortunately for
even
her, though,
Suwanko. It's already 2.
yeah, well, the Dora is held. They were all held. Pair for Ada, pair for Tucker. Okay, this is a hedge.
Oh.
Still giving herself the option to win on the Dora. Also, a chance at 3 for 5 Sancho if she can find a 5 pin.
Yeah,
It's clever. It's clever.
I don't know. I just don't like throwing the pair because it does give up the possibility of Suwanko, which you kind of need from that position.
Suoka would be very nice. That is true.
I'd at least give up the 1
Chi.
mon.
She from Ada. Now Ishantan. Tanyo, door 2. And you can see Ichiko really has been playing this hand to greed the Dora. Willing to cut the 5, but not willing to hold out for the Sanchoku, instead playing for the triplets, as you were saying.
Yeah, at least we had that pair of 5, so you could pawn that from Dennis for
Dong.
Mangan Tempai. That just ends up dealing in. Dennis could have taken the quote worst weight and won earlier a few times there, which it's a little sad when that happens, but does end up winning in the end and gets another fairly good high pie, at least for speed. But I guess that could also get a 4 5 6 Sanchoku, or it could just get Tempai now, but you probably wouldn't want to take that on either
But
of those.
you're telling me Dennis is not a believer in 3-pin good tile?
No, not even a believer in soft. So I guess
Interesting move from Tucker here, greeting the 6 mon
that
event.
is at Tempai. 3 pin is a good tile, but
He
does
is a
take it.
believer. Okay. Oh, and this would be Tempai for Tucker. Is he willing to jam? Yes. Tucker just says,
Yeah,
my
it's
3 Han is good enough. And
Sumo.
gets the sumo, takes the challenge, and wins. Playing with some freedom for being up here in the lead here. Doesn't mind taking a bit of a fight against the dealer Ricci. And with the better weight, does snipe it away. And now into first place going into South 3.
and now Dennis finally in shambles, finally with a bad high pie. Not even good enough for a true Kokashi attempt. Surely we'll just try anyway and fold when the Ricci comes out.
Yeah, 8 unique, it looks like, currently, with the draw yet to come. Even if we had Kyushu Q-High, would not have gotten the necessary 9th unique tile to reset. Ada.
Right.
Already Ishan then. Oh, this is too fast.
Oh, yeah, it's like I don't know. Throwing the 5 so is appropriate.
I think
It could have taken.
I think it's fine.
It's fine.
Because we don't really want to end up on the shovel weight. There we go.
Richi.
I also appreciate the 3 so cut for this draw specifically. I guess
Right.
it's like the question of whether you believe in drawing the two so or the six so. And maybe you can make an argument holding the three so for the two so draw, because if you draw the one mon, then you can shift towards a Junchan. Actually, maybe the three mon was a better keep, but the one so was twice cut.
Right. But I wouldn't mind taking the Shabo with one of your options being the one pin.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just it feels too cheap, right? Richinomi.
Right. This isn't that much better.
But it Richi Pinfu, so we'll see if Ada can convert here. 4-7 has 3 tiles left in the wall.
Yeah, Isabella having half the weight, but throwing away that two so connector to the four so might end up in trouble here. All of the seven so's. Oh,
Done.
hmm.
As you predicted, no Udas was just 2,900, but a direct hit from fourth to third only widens the gap ever more. So now,
Yeah.
very challenging.
Yeah, imagine you probably don't really expect like that early 5-3 cut for the four to deal in. It's like understandable of a push.
Yeah, especially early. Maybe if this happened later in the round, you'd give it some more respect. But really, they had that shape this early and got Tempai on the other side of it. It seems rather unlikely, but it is what happened in this instance.
Although, actually, maybe you could expect that. I guess if it's something like 2-3, 3-5.
I mean,
Not
maybe
out
the
of the realm
argument
of
is that the
possibility.
Ricci came out so early that you have to respect it again. It was like 3-5, nothing, 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 nothing. Then like a Ricci in the middle of the second row. Maybe you make that argument. I am liking Isabella's hand this time though. For the Mongun that she needs, this is it. Ricci, Ipe, Kodor 2.
Right, but there's only one more Sanso left. And it's Sanso. It is. They just know how good the tile is on this table.
There is an
You're not
alternate
going to get it for
path.
free.
You can draw like a 9 pin or something, 6 pin, and cut the 2 so and have a Pifu. 1-4 so, which doesn't look
Right.
much better, much more live, but
That is probably the realistic way you'll have to take it here. But ooh.
look at this. Dennis, not waiting for the 2-3-4 Sanshoku with Pinfu, instead takes the weight of Sanzo and 1 so. But most
It's a
importantly,
pretty
Sanzo.
good weight.
Okay, so
Except
here's the Pinfu opportunity. Ichigo will take the Ishanten, and now just needs to not draw 2 so.
yeah, getting saved by the one so pair would be nice.
Tucker had a really Tanya looking hand, but we'll just back away here.
Yeah, can yeah, that so shape is sort of weird. There is a con in there, which I guess if it goes on long enough, you could just con and shift the draw order. Although it won't really be meaningful without any other calls.
Maybe con to remove a tile from the wall could be relevant. I mean, right now Tucker has the Haite, so that would shift it to Ada. Interesting, willing to chance out this 7-1.
Yeah, nothing
Isabel,
particularly indicating the 7 would be good.
it's like 2 chance. That's not really a thing.
Mm, it's better than nothing, I guess.
Interestingly, Ada had Nakasuji 5 pin to keep the Ishanten, did not take it. Perhaps just didn't trust the 4 so as a cut later, but finds Tempai anyway.
リーチ
And Richi's with 4 tiles left in the wall. That 9 is still available, one of them at least. And 4 so.
Oh!
Oh, you only need one.
Of course. Why not Ura 3?
Yeah.
I don't know how we ended up here, but it was the perfect weight.
Yeah, sure.
That is some class A, class S diamond, rather wall rating right there. And somehow, some way, Ada is now over 30k.
Yeah, it's disastrous result for Ichigo.
ポン
But you know, it just is like that sometimes. And throwing the Sanzo as the third discard, this hand is just over.
ポン
It is very fast for Ada. The only question is, will it also
Oh.
turn into Toy Toy? We talked about Honitsu before as being Ada favorite. Toy Toy as well.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, well, that
Oh, that's
it's like,
sad.
yeah, you can accept that, but I don't like it. I mean, I get it, but I don't like it.
Tucker has got one of the Kanchan shapes. We'll go with the one so first. It's a waiting game for
Especially like your hand still looks like it would be Mon Nitsu, I suppose. So like you end up going through this to like win 1,500 or 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that I could commit to cutting 6, 7, 8 though.
Why I would have committed before the South. Maybe that's a little too ambitious. Maybe it was.
I will
like,
say I wouldn't have been
out.
surprised to see it, but
Maybe the once out helped that decision a bit.
interestingly, yeah.
ドン
Yeah, Oh.
Cut the 8 mon because they had just cut it the turn before, but the 1 mon was going to come out. If you're willing to cut the 8 mon, then you're willing to cut the 1 mon.
At least it was a cheap deal in. It's getting it even closer up here in the top 3 of this table.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Third place now is just 2,700 away from first, and second place is in the middle. As sad as that 1-3-3-4 shape is for Tucker, it at least accepts the door twice.
Right.
The best hand is probably Ada's here with the call ability, the speed that the Haku provides.
Yeah, at least in theory. But Dennis might be holding on to it for a while, and Dennis, you weren't supposed to discard Chun.
Apparently not. Oh, a triplet in the discards. And when I look at my hand in its current state, if I'm Dennis, and I see a triplet of Chun discard, I just assume I've played the hand wrong, I can't win anymore. Time to fold. The problem is we have a pair of Dora, so we can't just fold.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that pair was there, but like at the start, but I do know the Shaw over the Chun was a choice. But if you have the pair of Dora, it's always the Shaw first.
Hard to say if that Shaw was... At what point that Shaw was in the hand, though. The Haku does come out from Tucker, though. Oh, no. Where's our one-so?
And this can turn into a toy, although Isabella has both of the 3 pins, so...
Interesting. Willing
Not
to
looking
take the
too
3d10. with all the ones so dead.
1、
リーチ
Oh, Dennis gets there anyway, waiting on Chumon.
2 months, safe to the dealer, but they're
Oh, Suji.
yeah.
Now we're gonna see a Chi, maybe?
Oh, the Suji.
Can you
Oh,
trust the
Chi.
8?
I think it's
Chi.
not like you have to, but it's pretty good value. Plus, you're waiting on Genbutsu and Suji.
Yeah, that's strong, and I feel like Tucker's willing to take this fight on most tiles. Maybe
Sumo.
finds the Sumo. Maybe not Pinzu, but yeah, 8 so 9 so is pretty aggressive.
I could see it working out. I don't know if there's any actual like theory block or backing it up, but I could see it.
And maybe, with the 3 so Ricci and the fact that Tucker was holding 2 of the 3 so already, just didn't really believe in the weight. But that's a pretty big win there with the Ricci stick as well. And the Dora, that gives a little
Home.
space for Tucker to play defensively here. Now, if the hand goes to Ryu Kyoku and Tucker just passes the dealership by not being Tempai, will easily get first place. However, this hand is too good. This hand's too good to just fold. Tempai already for Pinfu. Could even
Each.
Dama here.
Yeah, waiting 1 turn for a Tanyo and a Dora, but wait 0 turns.
This is one of those spots where... Wait, let me just wait a second. Okay. I just didn't want him to eat putts. Oh. This is one of those spots where it's okay, I think, to Dama, because dropping the Forso can be disastrous in some worlds. It's early enough that you should be fine to just get away with this Ricci. But if they push, which a lot of them have incentive to just push against you, and then you draw a door and discard it, that could lead to you getting down to third. Now, it'll still be a positive third, so that's not the end of the world for Tucker, which is why I think they're totally fine making this move. But if the situation was closer, and maybe it was like the difference between, dropping down to a score below 30,000 or something, you might
Sumo.
hold off and just accept your payment.
Right.
As this will collect a few extra points from this, 3,900 in total, that 13 alt Sumo. And now the gap is 12,000 points, still not enough to guarantee safety. Ada can still Mangan Sumo and surpass with the extra Homba.
Yeah, that is not really looking like a Mangan Sumo hand though, but it could get there eventually.
Yeah,
Tucker
find
getting
Tempai
the
on your
crutch
penultimate draw,
or
and then
five
Ippat
pin.
Sumo on your final draw.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
This is another hand that's like too good for Tucker to just bow away from.
Kind of. It almost doesn't feel like it, but with that Conchon fill. Just want to get the really
Interesting.
that's the Tempai, but not definitely not a Ricci one.
It's so easy to improve this that you can hold for this 2 and 40 roam. 3,900 plus stick. That's not bad result. But if you get the upgrade, like imagine the 2-pin, for example. Just 3-sided slam. I think ideal draw for me is the 5-pin, because it gives you Ipeco in some worlds. And of course Tanya and Pinfu.
Well, I guess if you like really want to greed.
Oh, this works, sort of. You have to drop a Dora. I guess you don't have to drop the door. You can just cut the 6-pin. Wait 2-5.
Yeah. Oh. Hmm.
It's
Maybe
weird
planning to
because like
just.
with that shape, your brain immediately goes to cutting the 3 to get the Ipeco chance.
Beach.
Oh, but no. Oh, the drop. Just folding.
Yeah, in this spot, directly dealing in here.
Actually, well, this isn't
means-
even folding. This still wins on 5-8. Tuso wasn't even safe necessarily.
Yeah, but 3-1-1 is really hard to wait on 2 from that. All right, here's the moment of truth. Are we really challenging? Yeah, not gonna play this idea. Okay.
And you can just accept the first here if
Oh.
this just goes to draw.
And of course, the 5 pin is the next cut. Would have been Tanyao, Pinhu, Ipe, Kodora, 12K. It's
Yeah,
getting
Tucker
bailed
doesn't
out.
need that many points. I'm not even sure how many
Don't.
points Dennis needs with the trickling promotions, but definitely wants at least to stay positive.
Gets the cheaper side here. No Sancho Dennis, so just 2,000 points. That will be enough for him to overtake for second place. So, in the results here, Tucker big first, plus 33.9, only solidifies their position up top the B2 standings. Dennis gains 12.6 points. Was hoping for more out of this, but will fall a little bit short of Tucker at least, and does give a little bit of a boost into the positive zone. 80 with a plus 4.6 is still relatively safe. And Ichigo had an unfortunate game, just could not outspeed any of the other hands to Tenpai. They all got there first. And so this definitely didn't feel like it was a game where Ichigo had many chances. It seemed like the couple Richi she took, it did get shut down relatively quickly by other Tenpai hands.
Yeah.
That being
There's Tucker getting there were 3 Richis and they just Ipatsu mode the Samachan, which happens sometimes. It's not like getting a Shabo or a Kanchan Ipatsumo.
all right. Well, there is a ton of action going around the league. We're even getting a late start today, but I think as much as I'd like to watch another from this table, there are more games, and I want to catch as many people as possible. So I'm going to hop over to a B3 matchup that I just saw pop up in the feed. I think this is game 3 of their series, and it has just begun.
Don't.
And the hand is just ended. Richi Ipatsu. That is Richi Ipatsu. So hard to tell if there's a pin from there just looking at that's just the 5-pin Kanchan. Feels bad, but it won.
Yeah, and I didn't get a look at the discards to see if there was any sort of Nakasuchi trap that would also increase the win rate. Let me take a look here. This is B3-3, and pardon the lag as I throw in some. Oops, that's not the right one. There we go. So in this game we have Koichi is ramen, and I was right. Brendan is Yakume. Across the table, Bakapat is Barb, and Ashen TV is Mitchell. And all right, names are in. We can remove the lag.
All right. Barb with the Anko of Sanzo. Looking good. There's like it's that awkward kind of hand where it can be like Suanko, but also like get a two-sided weight.
Fans of Shugi will definitely be familiar with Koichi.
リーチ
A very strong player, and he's going to have a very strong weight.
Yeah, 147. It looks a little weird to me, but it's there, yeah.
I guess the 6 pin as well.
Oh, yeah, also the 6, yeah. That's not pin for you. Don't want that.
Not
I mean,
really.
so
I mean, it does give Tanyo, so the same. It's a little bit better than getting the 1 pin, to be honest. But certainly would prefer 4 pin or 7 pin for your winner. Unfortunately for Ramen here, a number of these tiles just being held. So really 7 pin is 3 left in the wall, 1 pin is 2 in the wall, 6 pin is 3 in the wall. None of those are bad as a sumo.
man, I mean, surely the 4-sided weight couldn't possibly lose.
You say that. But this is a tempai for Barb if she wants
But
it.
it might not win either.
I was a little suspicious of
Ooh.
this one, rather the 8 pin, so did not call for tempai and gets to play 5 pin for safety here, even after drawing the deal in 1 pin.
Yeah,
And that
Barb
Go
in a
ahead.
point situation where they don't really want to deal in, especially to a dealer, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that sort of play is pretty rare. A lot of players, I think, would just take their tempai and try
Eat.
for it, but this is some strong defensive play. Mitchell, on the other hand, will take the challenge. Rishi E. Peiko, waiting for the 7 mod. Surprisingly live. There's... Oh, wait, there's one left.
Right.
I
There's
thought I
only
saw
one in the
2.
pond, and it is safe to the dealer Ricci.
It's Suji now. I'm just kind of amazed that this 4-sided weight hasn't won yet. Oh, it finally comes out, the 1 pin.
You might have, I think, just autopiloted. It was a fairly fast discard. At least it was just the Ricci Pinfu. I think, yeah, 6-1 was at least safe to the dealer, and half Suji to the other Ricci. But then you'd also just probably try to avoid dealing to the dealer. But then if the second Ricci is chasing, they probably have something, so it could go either way there, but at least it wasn't that bad of a deal in.
Yeah. And I think the second Ricci really muddled things a bit. Interesting hands here. Brendan right now with the call the White Dragon. That was the last one, so needed to call that if they were planning to open the hand. Dora Green Dragon is just not really visible to us. The dealer, the only player who is holding one.
Yeah, kind of awkward to keep it around. But with that Kanchan shape in the pin, it's like really hard to just like justify throwing it this early.
Yeah, and look how quickly he's discarding this too. So instantaneous. Drew like a miracle three mon. I might have to take a half second to readjust my thoughts because I never expect to draw a triplet. And Ram is just like, yeah, I'm not willing to take this Kanchan Richinomi. Like he would be tempai here had he held the 2, so, but he wanted to play for the Dora.
Right.
And now just considers to what degree he wants to play for the Dora. He wants to go all the way.
I think you have to at that point, right? You could even like think about like Senanko or Sulanko with keeping that Tuso, but it's too late for that now.
Interestingly, Brendan here choosing the 2-sided weight instead of the 3-sided weight.
Sumo.
Oh, finds the Tsumo. He just said 7 pin's a good tile. He was right.
It is a good tile.
Home.
Oh, instant action here. Brendan, the dealer, with 2 Dora in the high pie and double East as well. This is a hand with big potential.
Home.
Yeah, gets that double East, but oh.
Normally the 9 mon comes out first because we still want to be able to chi 3 mon.
Yeah, it could still be used here, but I guess it doesn't really matter, especially with that draw. You just drop 2 mon probably.
Yeah. The seven been bailing out this hand. Or
Oh, uh,
so the thing to take note here is that calling the 5 mon and getting a triplet of those is 5 han. And holding the pair is 4 han. But both are Mongon. The value doesn't change here. So you don't need to greed the third Dora here. You can just play for your Roman shapes and win. 12,000 points as dealer is super important.
yeah, maybe it.
Pom.
I feel like I've met Brendan. I feel like he's probably more of a live player. So what it might have just been is like one of those like Tenho like right click sumo giri things.
Oh yeah. I was just having a conversation with somebody about that. They're new to the league and they're asking, is there anything I should know? Because I don't play on Tenho very much.
Don't.
As we see Koichi sniping away 1,000 points. And that was the first thing I said is turn off right click auto discard. Also turn off double click auto discard. It just has burned me so many times that it's better to just leave that off.
Yep, strong hand here for Barb. Oh yeah, draws another Dora, can take.
Oh, hey there.
I guess you really would want the Shabo with both of those tiles when you're the Dora, so it maybe not the best. You'd like take it, but
That's right. You got to see a perfect example of why that should be turned off. Ooh, that's a nice fill for Brendan. Dustin's like, it's Sanzo. It's always a nice fill.
of course.
Seven Dora. I mean, this would be a great hand for dealer to pull off. Ishan 10. I guess I'm willing to take any Ricci, so even this 2-so, that's twice out. Okay, that's better. I'll swap to the 4-so in the future and get Tanya out too. But Mitchell will get there first, slamming a Ricci. Ricci, Pinfu, no Dora, no Tanya, but 5-8 pin is a good weight. And hello, Dora 3. Dealer has the license to fight. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
I should have known.
This was the correct play. 1-so was the correct cut, and yet the last 2-so in the wall comes out anyway. Unbelievable. For Dora! Con!
Oh, Barb.
This is...
I mean, like, okay, that's like one thing, right? But like, I kind of hate throwing the 8-so and not throwing the 2-so back then.
That is true. Back when we had the 8-so, it was a little bit more accurate, I think, to cut the 2-so, even though you have a kanchan shape. Because if you fill out the 5-so, 8-so, then you have your pair. And that's really what you're looking for in this hand. It looks like that entire shape is going to be discarded now. Ishanten, but finally the Tsumo comes in. And we'll have an extra chance at Ura, and hits one.
Yep, from the con as well.
I'm not sure if Barb would have been able to get Tempai regardless of the con, but it certainly did backfire in this instance. Now, of course, you never want to drop the 7, so if you can't use it in your hand any other way, you might as well con it, right? Especially because if you're Ishanten, that could give you the draw for Tempai. Or it could give you a draw that could allow you to call for Tempai.
I don't think with an Ishanten like that, especially where you had like a backfire, it's like you could, but it's like I don't think you should.
And maybe if the 2-so was cut. I still don't think the con is necessarily wrong in that spot. I think if you're like diming con, like calling somebody else's discarded 7 for a con, that would probably be one that I don't think is accurate. But if you draw it yourself and you can't discard it, and you still want to push forward for the hand, sure, why not? Con and get your draw, your replacement draw. See if you can improve your shapes with that bonus draw. By the way, on the left, looks like we've got a Kokushi attempt.
An attempt, but it's still 4 away.
We'll root on the Kokushi from the sidelines. Mitchell opening up for Tanyao / Toy Toy. And I say / Toy Toy, it may not look like it yet, but I've watched enough Mitchell games to know that Toy Toy is always a possibility. He pulls them out of, it's like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. You never see it coming, and then just a little flash of the hand, and boom, it's there.
Right. That's probably. I don't really see it happening here.
That's right. That's right. You say that. You say that. But
Khan.
oh, Khan.
Uh,
Wow.
Con Brendan. Gets themselves a Dora.
Pom.
And Tempai.
Sometimes you just need a call to invigorate the table, but that 4/7
Gee.
is
Yeah, the
very
funny thing with
held.
that Khan is it ruins the 2/4 Kanchan that Mitchell was building, so we'll just have to cut that 2-pin and rely on getting a 4-mon. And the nice thing for Mitchell is he can probably see that the player on the left is doing a Kokushi, so pretty easy to find Mon tiles. But that 4-pin will come out and deal in for Tanya Dora 1. So relatively inexpensive way to move the dealership around, but that will solidify a little bit bigger of a lead for Brendan. And now it is on to Koichi's dealership. Once again, Koichi in the dealer seat. A scary proposition.
Very scary, very good looking hand so far.
Oh,
Nice. Wanting to go for a flush.
it hedges the flush for sure.
But
Well, instant 9-pin
Oh.
cut even after drawing the door. I thought he would like cut one and hold the second one just in case he draws the door.
right.
But this is also probably one of those hands where he's thinking that Tanya is a reasonable path as well.
That is true. Or maybe, yeah, not gonna like commit to a flush. But
I find it amusing how fast he's discarding, as if his goal is to make this game last
Pom.
as quickly, as little time as possible.
time is money, as they say. Okay, so what is this hand?
It's Ishant then.
Is it?
It is. Whoa, whoa. If he starts
Khan.
tripling up some of these tiles, another Khan.
What? Yep, revealing Sanso as the Dora, which is one in Brendan's hand, but very unavailable in other places.
How much does Brendan read this Dora? He'll hold on to it a little bit longer. This is actually really scary for Ramen because a lot of his tempais involve dropping the Dora. It's hard to use the Dora with all the 8-pins out as well.
Right, and even then, already gave up the 9-pin, so
Here, Brendan holding the 2-pin, very safe tile. The Kano 3-pin and 2-pin already thrice cut is just fully safe. 100% guaranteed safe.
but gets back
Each.
Sanso, but
How's it Ricci to
Punish.
contend with? Ricci E Peko. Koichi has dreams of Saranko, I guess.
possibly, but
It'll take some work to get there. Oh, Dora, wait.
Pom.
He'll call for Tempai, but that's gonna deal in.
but
Don't.
it's I mean, it's just like, especially if you're like gonna cut those 9-pin, but especially also with that, like the 8-pin, it could have just been thrown so much earlier.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting maneuvering there. But now we go into South 3, and suddenly Brendan is the only one over 30k, so these next couple hands only increase in importance.
ポン
All right, getting that white dragon. Can get a toy toy. I guess it could even technically get Sananko as well, but surely you can't cheat that. You can't
Cheat.
cheat
You
that.
can,
I
you
mean, you
can.
can, but it's so bad. It's so bad.
But you think about the Honitsu that could come out of this. Oh, it's
I
just Tenpai. It's just Tenpai.
uh
Now, 7 months not the greatest weight, but if we draw 5 money, you can upgrade it. 2 in the wall. I was even like hesitating on this 5, thinking if I cut 8-6 and draw a Dora, then I have a better weight and better value.
right, but if you wanted value, I don't know.
Oh, like
I don't think
this.
you'd be here.
A little sadness, but that's okay.
Right, I think well, having already thrown the 5 so leans away from keeping that 5 so floater. And now oh wow, a fold from Barb.
Holding that Dealin 7 mon. This moment of silence as the
Throwing the
7
ace from the
Sotsumo
Anko.
goes by.
Yeah, Barb is in second place, so especially that 3 call dealer hand just wants to not deal in.
Yeah, also might be trying to play in a somewhat safe way, anticipating the East to be the pair in the hand. It is certainly less efficient, but as you said, safety is the way. You can pretty easily cut one pin, or, well, two pin, 4 pin.
Right.
Maybe find your way to win up, but
Dong.
Nisha will find the deal in tile. I think it's actually a little bit more efficient to cut the 9 mon there, but give yourself the chance at 6, 7, 8 Peiko. This will temporarily drop Mitchell to 4th. Still, South 3 to go and South 4. So 2 important rounds. And the position really hasn't changed all that much with just a 1,000 point win.
Right. But Barb was able to avoid dropping.
チ
And you feel really rewarded when you see that 7 mon come out and deal in, and you say that was supposed to be me. I should have been 1,500 points lower, but because I was wary enough of that tile, I managed to dodge it long enough to not deal in. It's one of the most rewarding feelings in Mahjong, in my opinion.
Right. But it's so much more rewarding to deal in and be rewarded.
That sounds complicated.
It's not that complicated.
To deal in and be like, yeah, this was the correct choice, and even though I lost points, I still made the right move, so you feel rewarded that way.
Yeah, that's one of the ways.
チ
Fast hands,
Definitely
Mitchell already
not
Tenpai.
rewarded by not believing in one pin
ポン
here, though.
Oh, there's the South. That's
Boom.
what Koichi needs. That's Dora 3.
You're not quite Tenpai.
ポン
A little danger here for Koichi.
ポン
Yeah, Brendan incentivized to call and try and shut this down. Just gets into Kutsuki Ishanten for Tanya, but it's getting there.
Yeah, this table
Boom.
doesn't run away from the threat of Dora 3. They attack it.
Yeah, could have even waited on the 7 pin because it is safe to the door 3, but in the same breath, it is safe to the door 3, so it takes a safe Tenpai.
Ooh, do we cut a pair?
Well, it would be Furry 10 And Forso, the pawn, it's very not live,
Yeah,
but
will cut out the
might-
8, and that is going to
Oh.
deal in.
Oh, of all of the pairs,
Yeah, I
think
mean, 8 was
it's-
once cut, so
I guess it makes a bit of sense, but
we go to all last, and it is Barb who has the chance to make it over to first place with an extended dealer run. 2 Dora in hand as well. Chance at Itsu and the Pinzu. The
Yep.
gap to first place is not large enough that the other players are completely out of it. Michoken Mangan Sumo. Koichi needs
Barb getting
Mangan
the
Sumo plus
clutch.
somebody's Ricci stick.
Barb always wins these.
Also improves the
Pump.
Shanten, but the shape is a little awkward. That being said, does accept 3 so.
What more could you ask for?
Brendan is interestingly, it seems Brendan also prefers pairs in his hands. I think the normal cut there is just 5 mon, and you end up in the same place. You just would have had extra acceptance in the meantime, but prefers the 6 blocks to increase the variety of tiles that he can call. That is also a way to play. Yeah, 6 blocks versus 5 blocks is always an interesting question. I think with shapes that strong, though, I always prefer the 5 blocks.
I would as well.
This is Tempai, and can upgrade to Toy Toy as well. But if Brendan wins this hand, we'll be the only player above 30k. We'll get a nice bonus. Oh, there's a Forso that Koichi cannot use, but will he hold it now that there's a Ricci?
Yep, Ricci Pinfu 2 Dora.
It's a dealer Ricci too, so if it goes to Ryukyoku, we will repeat. If the hand is 1, it will repeat. Koichi is pretty far from a Tempai.
Could have dealt in with that Forso, but has plenty of folding material.
We'll try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, super aggressive here from Koichi in this game. It got punished for it. We'll take the 4th here. Minus 20 for him. Mitchell takes a minus 7.1. Barb minus 1.8. All players below 30k will get a negative score. And all players above 30k will get a positive. That's a plus 28.9 for Brendan, who climbs, which I believe this actually may have been the 4th game of the series being completed from a previous session. We'll climb up to 6th place, so just outside the guaranteed promo range, but in a really good spot if you're expecting there to be a bonus promotion or 2 from the B3 division, which is very, very normal.
Yeah, those. So I think Koichi had the 4th pay, so that was also safe.
Yeah, interesting.
Maybe considered safety for later, but why not safety right now?
Definitely, kind of some non-standard play from Koichi, so.
Very unusual.
Perhaps multitasking, who knows. Got another game though. This looks like a B1 game. And let's see if I can update some info. B1-3. All the table 3s are playing right now. I see Senhao, our dealer. I believe that's Brian T on the right. Jen, of course, Mahjong Jen across the table. And Hanlei on our left. And we've hopped into a very interesting situation where Jen has declared the early Ricci for Ricci Piku Tanyao. Dora 1. A great hand, but it's going to get chased by Hanlei. You drop that Dora, you start to sweat a little bit.
A great hand and a great weight, but it's very much held.
Sumo. Oh, and that Shabo is going to win even on the once cut side. Suji trapped the wall a little bit. We'll pick up the bonus foo as well for the Onkotsumo.
And
Hanley getting off to an
Dora
early
and Hop.
lead.
An early lead with the only one above 30k, but there's plenty of hands for that to change.
One moment as I swap around the players. And I think this is, it looks like their last game, in fact, of the season. So this is really important now. I'm glad we got to pick this one up. Jen and has been in the promotion zone for a while. Somehow just outside of it, and if they swap places, if Jen gets the fourth and Senhao gets the first, I mean, they could swap places, and that would leave Jen on the outside looking in. Brian hoping to stave off relegation here in a good spot at minus
Yeah.
47.3.
A very good
just
Ishanten as well for this hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Hanley needs a big one, needs a monster. It will be going all out in this game. We're going to see some fighting mahjong from him. As you said, Brian looking the best, though. Right now, Ishanten as dealer. Door 2 on the left for Senhao. Haku needed. And it's in the wall. It's available. If this door comes out, will he call it? I would.
Home.
He will as well. Now, this does have the negative side effect of making your hand somewhat transparent. It can't be Hatsu. It can't be Pei from Hanlei's perspective, although the other players don't know that. Chun is once cut, so it's unlikely to be the Red Dragon, but it could be
Reach.
as the Yaku. Oh, and here's the big important part. Hanlei doesn't have the choice. Must shove. And in this case, I think Senhao must shove as well. One so for me.
Oh, and okay, well,
Oh, Brian draws it and says, my hand is good enough to fight with, but that's going to deal into the Mongon. And somehow this aggression pays off. Call the door first. Find your Yaku later. It gets the Haku for the win.
Yeah, that beautifully shot it just never got Tempai, sadly.
And that's a really difficult thing to do psychologically, is say, I'm the dealer with a gorgeous Ishanten. I should be first to Tempai. I should get this win. And then someone else slams a Ricci first, and you say, I'm too late. It's too late. I need to fold. It's really difficult to switch gears from maximizing your efficiency and like thinking about the quality of your weight and the value that you're aiming for in the hand to all of a sudden just fold, fold, fold. And I suspect Brian didn't think Senhao was quite Tempai yet to push that Haku. I suspect he thought it would get called for Pon, but Senhao just got there the turn before. So,
right.
Hanlei, another early Ricci.
As you said, as this is their last game of the season, and with Brian being that close to a demotion spot, taking a particularly bad last year would be disastrous.
It would. And well, that's a relatively inexpensive one. Of course, the tile that is Suji to the Ricci, the 3-so, or rather the 6-so came out as the Ricci tile, and 3-so is Suji to it. It's always a little bit more dangerous than other tiles, but sometimes that's the best tile in your hand, and sometimes you want to deal. And I know I had a game recently where it was 6-pin declaration, 3-pin deal in tile, and someone else was showing a manga. I'm like, I'd rather deal into this Ricci Nomi than then let the Mongon hand win, so I just dealt it in. And I wonder if Jen also had something in mind, something similar in mind. I think in her case, it just was the safest tile.
But it is a very good tile. It should have been kept around, obviously.
7-pin Dora, one to the right, one to the left. This dealer hand is kind of fancy, but it really needs a Sanzo. And it would love Dora as well.
It's like I don't know if you really. It's like you can. Like, Honley wants Valley, but I guess to really get that run up, you need efficiency. Keeping the 8 and the 8999 is not super efficient. I think the lone 6 mon feels pretty bad.
Chunok over Jet.
And missing out on yet another Sanzo. The 2-4 Conchan is not feeling good.
Yeah, I wonder.
1
Oh, well, we're gonna see a Ricci. Ricci, Tanyao, potentially Dora 1. Waiting 4-7 pin. I wonder if Hanley just cuts away from this 2-4, but now that there's a Ricci.
Starts with 8, but East. Maybe it does look a little weird, like a Cheetor or something, but East is probably fine and doesn't give up door acceptance.
Yeah, it's not unusual to start with the Genbutsu first. Maybe even 9 pin would have been a way to play that hand if you wanted to start a relatively safe tile and still leave the door acceptance available. Because you're actually not planning to get this 3, so I think.
Yeah, Jen could have chased there with a Ricci Nomi, throwing a 1 or a 4 mon, but didn't quite like it. It's just throwing Chun. Yeah, with that promotion spot somewhat locked in.
Oh! She finds Pihu.
Yeah,
And 8 so's
Pinfu.
Genbutsu if
Oh,
one of these players
that
wants to fold.
has all of the 5 sos. And it's
1
Tenpai is Tenpai. We'll look for that Sanzo. Oh, 8 so it's so
oh,
safe.
8
It's
so,
too
yeah.
safe.
It's very Sotogawa. It's safe to 1 Ricci. It has to be 8 so.
It does
Dum.
have to be 8 so, and Jen was waiting for that tile. Last 8 so on the wall will snipe a Pihu Dora 1, and no, Senhal's probably not too upset about that. Didn't deal into the dealer Ricci, didn't deal into the first Ricci. It's very hard to find another safe tile for that hand.
And Jen gets brought back
Home.
above 30k with that, but is still in third.
Might not be after this hand, though. Calls the Green Dragon, has a pair of Dora as well, and it's a hard to use Dora importantly, so
Right.
if Brian discards it, Jen will be able to show Mongon instantly.
I don't know if I like throwing the 3 mon over the lone honors, especially like with the Dora pair. I
Home.
feel like you really want that efficiency.
Yeah,
Now
I mean,
you
if
could
you
be in
don't
this
get the
spot.
call on the Dora, then you might expect to aim for Honitsu. Or if you pair up another honor tile, even if you don't get Honitsu, that's still another a Mongon. So she's finding a path to Mongon. Wow, that's the
Yeah.
9-mon go.
Let's go. I guess if you do take that, you end up on Penchon, not even Tenpai.
You might
you
have
take
to call
that
this one.
I don't know. I feel like,
Gee.
especially if you're like waiting too long, I guess if you're not calling it, you just end up throwing something else. So this, you can get Chanta. Is that enough? Chanta.
Oh, let's
No.
go,
Gee.
Taki.
Is it like the Chanta doesn't really do anything here?
Yeah, the Chanta doesn't do
Unless
anything.
you can con.
That's
East
true. Con the
specifically.
East. Or con something else and flip another Dora. Now, the thing here is, oh,
Oh, no. But I mean, it's like, you know, I wouldn't hate taking that 8 pin just because of the 1-9 pin being out earlier, but it doesn't make it feel any less bad.
so the funny thing is, everyone can see that Chanta is a possibility because all of your calls have a terminal or an honor, which would lead them to believe that your final block was a Chanta block.
Home.
Namely, you're cutting from a 7-8 pin or an 8-9 pin. If you're cutting the 8 pin, it's probably an 8-9 pin. So what if you cut the 9 pin instead and waited on the 8? Because then they might think you were like you had a choice between 2 terminal or honor tiles, and you said the other terminal tile was better than the 9 pin. They might not. They might
Right.
not buy the 8. And if that's the logic you took, you would have found Sumo. But the thing is, with this Mongon, she can wait on whatever she wants. It doesn't have to be a terminal tile. So she cuts this 9 pin, saying this 2-mon looks great.
Yeah, it's Sotogawa trap.
It's a Sotokawa trap, right?
1
Okay, we're gonna see a Ricci. Oh boy! Now you have the choice between 2
you can
Suji
Suji
tiles.
trap it.
ポン
What's that?
You
Oh,
we could see the 2 come out.
Yeah, it's
Three.
avoids it somehow.
Plays Gembutsu to Jen.
Genbutsu to Genbutsu to Jen.
4
It's gonna get the
and
win.
then ends up dealing.
What a
and
maneuver from Hanley.
Yeah, that 3-pin.
It was Gembutsu to the Ricci, so
Yeah, wanted to win on Genbutsu, but it's like, are people really worried about the Ricci or about you? And I guess Hanley chose the right person to defend against.
well, you also like wouldn't expect Jen to be waiting on that 3 pin, right? Especially because it's already once in the call.
No, I could see it.
ポン
I was talking more about like the throwing the 3-mon.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're just thinking like from Jen's perspective whether the 2-mon weight was better than the 3 pin weight. I think like I quite like the 3 pin weight as well. Because even if you're playing safe
1
Jen, you might still cut the 3 pin. Wow, that's another fast Ricci, and Hanle's like blazing in this game.
Yeah, it's even like an awkward one away from
The worst way to get
Sodanko.
Sodanko.
But
Oh no!
oh
Oh no!
Green...
Was too fast. Needed to wait 1 turn.
Yeah, Ricci, Patsu, Sumo,
Ricci,
Sodanko.
Patsumo, Sodanko. Yikes!
But would you?
You would. If you waited, you absolutely would. Or would you just Dama for Suanko? You probably would just Dama for Suanko, right?
Yeah, and
then
Sumo
Sodanko. Is that good enough?
Not even that much true.
Oh no, would be Suanko Tenpai!
Suanko Tonki Tenpai even.
Oh my goodness. Okay, if we draw the 2 pin on our next draw, we're very sad. We Sumo and we're sad about it.
That would be one way to get that that game in, but honestly, it's like realistically, you're probably more playing to like just get things over with. But wow, I just had to bring it up.
That's unbelievable. I think Hanley would be...
Don't.
So he wouldn't have been able to roam this because it could be done if he had the Suanko.
Right. But
So we'll never know. We'll never know if he
Dama.
would have sumoed. And we're not going to look. We're not going to look in the wall either. We'll leave the rabbit hunting to Hanley himself.
Lots of ramen here for Jen, but a few terminals and honors to pitch.
Jen doing some quick calculus as well. We're in South 3. This is her last dealership. She's just checking to see what she can get away with. Keep in mind, 95.3, not the safest spot. It can be overtaken. So she really wants to aim for a positive here. But if someone else slams a Ricci first, how much are you willing to fight against that from your dealer spot? If Brian takes a Ricci, what are you willing to do? If Hanley slams a Ricci, what are you willing to do? So on and so forth. All of these things need to be considered. And you might as well consider it before you start to play the hand, so that you have less to think about once the hand gets close to Tenpai.
Right.
Speaking about close to Tenpai.
Yeah, that I think I'd throw the 1 pin there personally. Like if I end up on the Tonki, I'd take the green over the east.
Sure, I don't mind the 1 pin keep though. Itsu still isn't out of the question. If you draw 3 pin or 2 pin right now, you're just headless Ishanten with Itsu chance. Oh, just like
Yeah,
this.
Nathaniel.
Look, my brain is trying to find a way towards 5, 6, 7 Sancho. That's really what I'm going for here. It just isn't quite
Well,
here yet.
it's like, even if
Wow.
you get that 3 pin, you can just have like the 3, 6, 9 pin wait.
Yeah, and this is going to be taken. Ricci, Dora 1, waiting 3, 6, 9 pin. Senhao took the 7-mon Kanchan, greeted the Dora here. Brian on the 4-7, so wait for Tanya only.
Does that extra 1,000 even make that much of a difference for somehow? I don't think so.
Big time Sumo.
Dora.
With 2 other players Tempai, this is huge for Jen. And also, Hanmei drops down a couple thousand points, so Jen is chasing down first at this point. Goal number 1, of course. Finish over 30k. Nothing more important than that. If you can get snag a first place as well, really solidify your position.
Yeah, this hand not quite as good, but it's shaping up a little bit.
Home.
Let's see that white dragon. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, that's, well, I guess it's about like, oh, the 3 above 30k. That would be a minus 35 or so.
Yeah, at this point, Brian's probably just playing damage control.
Yeah, it's not great, but
you know, there are worlds where he
do.
finds Toy Toy, so might as well play for it. Honitsu is technically viable.
Maybe even both.
Okay, so we're going to play for the door as well.
Chi.
I mean, I don't think I'd keep the 9 pin here though. Oh, throwing away 7, 8 long.
Yeah, just going to try to use this Dora. And also, if he's expecting Toy Toy out of this, you don't need a diamond shape. It's just all about the tiles that control the pairs.
Home.
Probably not accepting the needle K. Instead of cutting 1, 2 pin, hedges the number of tiles that he can accept and chooses the 4-5. So here, generally a central Shabo is a little weak, but you never know when one will filter out of a hand. Especially Jen, who's already discarded a 5, so. Although the last 5 is held by Senhao.
That's a little weird.
Or Brian, who can't use a 4-so.
Oh.
Home.
Oh, the Dama.
Dome.
Pinfu. Yeah, that's like. Well, sure, those 7s are both in hand. It's like, it'd be more normal to throw that 4-5 so from hand. But it ends up winning still, but with the double Ron.
Yeah, that's really making things harder for Brian now. And Hanley, also very disappointed, I'm sure, was probably thinking about what he was going to do on his dealership. And now he has to go through another turn from Jen. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, actually, for Hanley, because he got points, and he got another round. And from his position, nothing is more important than having more rounds in the game, more opportunities to win points. He got both. So it's actually really strong for him, as long as he can win in his hand as well.
Perfectly acceptable.
Jin has a fast-looking hand, already a triplet of the South Yakuhai. And can slap a Ricci in a lot of cases. I'm wondering what she might be willing to open for. maybe 5-so or 7-so. But Brian,
I could see that.
Brian's holding a lot of those and using them all.
Yeah,
Might have to cut a
Brian
7-so though.
really wants that 4-so to get to a Sanchoku.
Yeah, it's actually a really great hand for Brian. If he draws 6-so, he gets Ipeiko Pinfu. If he draws the 4-so, he gets Sanshoku. Oh, Sanshoku chance.
1
And now the question is, will he take all the wins? Or will he...
You just
Eighth.
have to take any win.
Ichi
Maybe
Pinfu,
excessively
Tanyao,
greedy.
Hidden
to
Una?
skip.
Yeah, that'd be a Mongon. That's points. Points are important at this stage. It's a little bit difficult playing your game first because he doesn't know what the cut line is going to be. Currently, it's Sarah at minus 88.5. So he has a 41.2 point gap to play with.
Yeah, but with like the score of this current game as it is, it's
Each.
not gonna be good.
And yeah, Hanlei will slam Arichi. Ichi Pinfu. Don't when the 6 comes out, it is going to deal into the cheap side, but an Ura will still be Mongon, misses. Just the 45 plus a stick. The Ricci sticks will come back to Brian. So, if that does bring Sunhao below 30,000 points, which means Brian not taking the negative 20 points of Uma, only minus 15.
Yeah, the extra value already gets a Yakuai call. West only.
Yeah, if the game ends here, it's about 25-ish, minus 25 if he wins this hand. And that is acceptable losses. He'll probably be safe. Fingers crossed. He'll cross his fingers and hope to be safe.
Probably.
1
It's maybe too optimistic. Especially like things being this close.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah can easily surpass that. Steven could even surpass that. But keep in mind, there are also players above that could drop below.
Right. There's a Tempai. 1-4-so. 2-1-so's already out though. It's not a great feeling.
Yeah, but this is the hand you played for by calling the West so early, so... Ooh. Do we reconsider? He reconsiders!
I mean...
I don't hate
I
this.
guess...
A Mongon significantly improves your chances.
Although... Do you hate the 2-3-so over 7 Mon though?
Okay, a chance to go back. A chance, no.
Oh.
Sticks with the plan. Yeah, as you said, 1-so twice cut, but 1-4 still has more tiles of acceptance than the 7-mon pair.
Oh.
The wall just
Well,
saying. Should have chosen the other way.
Yeah.
And now with all these
Then-
3-sos visible, the 1-4-so looks amazing. It would have been
You're
Tempai
not-
here.
Yeah. Well, it would have just been... If you start with 7 Mon, you just be Tempai in the Dorotanki with Anko of 2-so.
And Hanlei, of course, does not care about what's going on in that hand. He only has one goal in mind, and that's win and
Eat.
keep winning. Senhao Ricci, who cares? We keep pushing. From his perspective.
And yeah, this is where the greed can backfire. Somehow getting above 30k.
1
Can choose
Oh.
Shabo for Tanya or cut the 5-pin for the slightly wider weight. Can also choose to weight Ipeiko, cutting the 8-pin for value. We'll go for the Shabo, trying to lock in Tanya.
相撲
Oh, but Sunhao's gonna get there
Sumo.
first. And with the extra Ricci stick, Ricci Sumo Pinfu. No, Uda. But that's gonna be enough with the extra Ricci stick to get over 30k.
Yeah, I think
Oh, I think even without it, he'd be fine.
even without it, but
Because I forgot he had to put his own stick in the middle. So that's going to be the win for Hanlei, but not quite the amount he was hoping for. And he's just going to have to wait and see if other players can drop below him in this relegation zone for Senhao, plus 1.6 will leave him at 69.5. That's not a bad total. He's in position for a bonus promotion spot should one be allotted to Division B1. It's a little bit more difficult for this for B1 and A2 to get bonus promo spots, but frequently we see one, at least one. So he's got a chance. For Jen, plus 10.2 is exactly what she was looking for. I believe she's comfortably in the promotion zone. I think she will get that promotion right back into A2. And yeah, for Brian, minus 32.3 was a little bit more of a loss than he wanted. He'll have to wait and see. Can Alon hold on and stay above? Can Christian stay above? And will Sarah come back? She only needs about 9 points to overtake. Just over 9 points to overtake Brian and find safety. But she has to do that with 4 games. So it will be an exciting finish for this B1 division in the relegation zone.
Yeah, that Sarah can do it, but you never know. It really depends on what that matchup is gonna be.
Exciting things yet to come. Checking the log to see if there are any more games to take a peek at. We could end the stream where we started. The series with Tucker, Isabella, Dennis, and Ada is still going. They are
We could do that.
in the middle of one of their games. Let's do it. They're halfway through it, so let's hop on over. I'm very curious to see how the standings have changed, and it looks like Tucker's still in the positives. Ada's about where they were previously.
Yeah. Isabella got a fairly big win in the game we did not see.
Okay,
It's
compensating
Dennis
for
a
game
second.
one.
And then Tucker unfortunately got last.
Here we go, game 3, so they'll have one more game after this. It's one of those awkward shapes for Dennis. Drawing that 8. You just have too many shapes. Oh no! And because he cut the 8 before the 6, he has to deal in if he gets stumped by.
Yeah. Dennis.
リーチ
I might not
It's
want to
always
fight
the 6.
Tucker chasing Richie Pinfu.
And that is Tempai.
Isabel's
Last
playing the
viewership.
fight. Yeah, this 3-6 looks terrifying, and
ロン
Dennis will not throw it out. Instead, Ada will draw the tile. Not Ipatsu because of the call. Richie Pinfu Ura for 39 will extend the lead, and Tucker's dominating this game.
Yeah, making up all those points back from the last one.
And Isabella fought hard on her last dealership, but Tucker stole it away, and that means that maybe here in this game 3, Isabella's goal will just be to get over 30,000 points. It's a little too hard to get first.
Didn't quite hit the double Ricci, but has a
Boom.
very good Ishant now for Tucker.
Dennis taking the challenge though, taking the mantle with a call. Ishanten as well. Double south for Ada. No real value just yet. Will it be Honitsu? Will it be Adora? Yet to be determined.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised Tucker's not cut that 8 so yet. Especially like
ポン
with the early obvious 8-9 so cut, it's like why? Well, 7 so's probably safe.
But if you cut 9 so, then hold the 8 so for a while, it looks like you're holding the 8 so because you had a 6 so.
Right. And it's just like But Acer didn't really do anything in
Ooh,
particular.
Shabo swap? No. We'll just go for the
リ
win
ー
right
チ
here. Ooh. This is why Isabel declined the tune when it came out on turn 1, discard 1. She wanted more value. She wanted a Ricci. And this is it. Ricci Dora 1. Can Summon hit Uda for a Mangan. That is also Tempai. Tucker really
Yep.
doesn't have that much to fear here. He can just take the fight, but playing in a controlled manner here. Dennis has a little bit to lose. We'll fight anyway. Likes the Suji 2-pin. So could she swap the weight to 5-8?
1
Or what, even 1-pin Tonki, but yeah, takes the wider weight.
Yeah, and waiting against the Ricci, but well, surprise, where those 8 pins are.
Yeah, and the 5-pin is also in a call, so there's only one left in the wall for this weight. In the meantime, Ada's building a toy.
Yeah, I think especially with one of the 5 pins in your hand, I wouldn't hate actually swapping to the Sansa there. But you can swap to 6-1
Done.
now, but
Chidora no Uda. That will be enough to get Isabella over 30,000 points, and that means she might be able to finish with a positive score here. Thought here from Dennis about calling the Haku, decides against it. Where is his position in the standings? He wants a little bit more. The issue is, if he doesn't win this hand, if he lets Ada win a hand, then he might not just be getting a -15, he might be getting something a lot worse. So I
yeah,
think
that would
I
be
would,
disastrous.
yeah, I would be incentivized to call that. And then hope to score well in the final game. Dennis looking for better.
Yeah, thankfully did not get punished too much, and Ura 2 would have brought Dennis to last place.
It a very reasonable looking hand here for Rishi Pinfu. The only sticky point is that Dora, which we kind of don't want. I mean, we want it, but it's holding us back a little bit. Now, Tucker dropped the Red Dragon, did not get called, so it's an opportunity for Ada to cut it as well.
1
Okay, there's the Ricci Ipeko. And yeet the Dora anyway. Who cares about this Ricci?
Right. It's like, what if they could have called that? Oh, they would have just called it, right?
Yeah, it's
If
the
they
only
ended
worry
up on
is
Dora
Tonki.
Tonki after that, yeah, it's
Oh
probably
my.
fine.
But look at what Isabella's pulling together. A Chinitsu. She's going to need to do most of the work herself because Tucker probably not going to cut any pin tiles unnecessarily. Fake little tempai there for Isabella. And of course the 6-monk comes out immediately afterwards. Wouldn't have been able to win on it even with the 7-pin cut. That's a super wide Ishanten though for Ichigo. Can she get there? Only one 5-pin in the wall for Dennis's weight, and it's Nakasuji. It is a trap. Oh, there's the 9-pin. That's going to be called for Mangan Tempai. 4-pin, 7-pin. There's another 7, but Ada can hold that. 1-pin, actually surprisingly live,
Right.
but she'll cut it anyway.
Cuts it, wow. Could have just, I guess if you want to like still win the hand, 1 pin would be the play.
Yeah, 5-4 might be, Mon might be safe cut, but yeah, aiming for the win
There's
here.
Tempai.
リーチ
From last place, certainly.
2-5 so, but there's just 1-5 so. But we've been here before.
We've been here before. Ipatsumo? No, not this time.
It's still in the wall.
Yeah, there's no tiles in the wall left for Ichigo, so drawing dead. It does not find the last 5, so. Can swap to Tonki here, but I'm not sure anything is safer. At the end, 3 players Tempai. We're not done yet. Hatsudora this time. Another dragon this time around.
Yeah, it is. It is a good tile, but just the one in Dennis's hand. I think Dennis just wants to really win.
If you're Tucker here, I think you're willing to deal into any hand that's not Ada, to be honest.
That is true.
You could deal into Baimon, still finish with a positive score, and have an all but guaranteed promotion.
Yeah, but Tucker unfortunately drew that Dora, holding them back a little bit. Especially not taking the Arion. I guess you don't really need that.
Yeah, odd diamond is just a bad diamond, right? It's a diamond with 2 fewer tiles of acceptance. So this definitely feels like Tucker has decided to never drop the Dora. Ricci from Isabella once again. Ricci Itsu, waiting on that 7 so that just came out. A lot of potential value here if she can find the win.
Did Tucker keep the Dora just to throw it when someone other than the dealer called Ricci? Well, not yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's innate in Tucker's nature to just throw out dangerous tiles. But in this case, I think it's strategically sound. Tucker will just do their best to fold.
Right. But like you said, it might be in their best interest to just try and deal in.
Still 2 7s on the wall, and Ada has it all to play for as well. I mean, you can't really fold here from last.
Yeah, especially when that last will put you closer to the motion. And with only one more game besides this to make it up. See, I believe if Tucker did push, Tucker would have dealt in there.
Tempai.
Reach.
I see the slab.
Let's see. Well,
And
1 7 so versus 1 1 mon in the wall.
This is where if Tucker gets the choice between dealing out a safe tile to Ada and a safe tile to Isabella, he'll find a safe tile to Ada. But Ada finds the 7 so, the last 7 so. And that's going to be Ricci Itsu. No lead off, 5,200, but all those Ricci sticks will get collected back. And this was a much larger victory for, or well, not victory, but second place for Isabella than I was anticipating. And so did actually a lot of work here to pick up 15 points. And we'll have one more very important game to collect the majority of the points. Ichiko with plus 15.1, Ennui Tucker plus 33.7, all but confirmed at this point. Might even be going for the top spot in the B1 division. Sorry, this isn't B1, this is B2, I believe.
B2. Does that... So does that mean Tucker can get a double promotion? No, that's probably not.
No,
available,
only
is it?
B3 and C1 currently. But that being said, Dennis takes a minus 14.8, and for his positive goals, sitting on the edge, can't get a third place. Let's see, 5.6.7. So it needs to be over 23,300, or that number or above, in order to stay at 0. And if Dennis is getting really funny with it, he might actually aim to end the game in third place with 23,300 points to get exactly 0.0. The sucky number.
Might be a little too risky.
might be just a tad bit. Yeah.
I've done something like that before, but
You do need to be 0.0 or above in order to get the promotion. So depending on the number of B2 promotion spots, you always want to give yourself that outside chance. And of course, now Ada taking that 4th place, especially dealing into that 52 at the end, at least it wasn't a Mongon. But now sitting dangerously close to that cut line at 88.1, and Anya has multiple games to play. So Ada's really going to be pushing hard for a positive result here. What a hype buy from Dennis, though.
봄,
truly, I'm disappointed Dennis didn't throw Sansa first.
Yeah, no, he's
Set
waiting
their
for turn
posture.
3. He's waiting for turn 3. See? Discard 3. Sansa. Easy.
Right, but sometimes you have to set your posture for the first discard. Put the Sansa first to intimidate the table.
I'll never understand. I'll never understand.
But a Sansa for the 3rd discard is also acceptable.
Sanzo theory is just beyond my comprehension.
봄,
Pon. Which tempai do you take? The Dora tempai.
That's, I mean,
It's okay. It's going to be Toy Toy
it's
anyway, so it
fine.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just going to draw 5 Mon. Oh, wait, we can't. They're all held. So I guess we need to draw the 3 Mon. That one's live. Yeah, this is the route to 12,000.
Actually, I think, oh yeah, especially if that 3 Mon was out before, I would have swapped to the 7 Mon. Because, like, with you pawning 8 and 9 Mon, it feels like the 7 Mon should be pretty good in the wall.
You're thinking about the Toy Toy chances. Yeah, I don't know. I think I prefer Tsumokiri 7 because if we cut 2 so 3 so, it really gives the impression that we're doing Toy Toy, and that means Genbutsu tiles are bad. Or not Genbutsu tiles. Tiles that haven't been seen yet are kind of bad. So that means 6 Mon.
Right, but at the same time, we have 3 pawns. I mean, if they're not considering a toy, I don't know what they're doing.
롱,
Yeah, that was
It pays off for Dennis.
maybe a little bit too optimistic from Ichigo. Definitely, she wants to play that hand because she's got the door too, and she needs a big win. And it's just saying, okay, you're not Tenpai, and if you are Tenpai, it's on a weight that's not 4 Bon. But you sort of just you see the deal and you're like, yeah, okay, that's understandable.
봄,
Perfectly fine.
It's the expected outcome. But of course, Isabel in the very difficult position of needing currently 70 points, 64 points in one game. And that's incredibly difficult to do. What you're really hoping is that the cut line drops, which is a pretty standard thing to do, especially since she's playing with one of the competing players on the same table. You expect to get a big first and for them to lose points as well. So really what you're aiming for, I think, is like a plus 40 first place. And even that is incredibly difficult to do. You need to be like 50,000 points in a lot of worlds. And that means winning a lot of big hands. So it's certainly understandable to take fights if you have value.
Dennis, the back-to-back Doro draws, even the Chi-Toy Shanten.
Oh no, selected the incorrect Tonki.
But it's like, if you are going to get the Chi-Toy, you don't really want that 4 anyway. Unless you know something I don't.
Yeah, this doesn't have to be Chi-Toy.
It doesn't, but it's fairly unlikely to not be Chi-Toy, I feel like.
If you drew the Onko, then you can easily play this as something other than Chi-Toy. If you drew like Tuso, that's a really tough decision.
リーチ
Tenpai found, Tenpai taken, Ada will slam. Oh, there's a nice way too with the 6-mon cut.
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming.
258.
Yeah.
Yeah, will be taken. And you get the Dora weight as well, which is always. Ooh, how
There's the Yonko, but obviously it's no longer cheat toy.
you can.
Start from 9-pin, or I guess that works.
Yeah, Pei is aiming for the 7-pin Genbutsu trap, but you need to draw 2 So 5 so really quickly, really soon.
Right.
Oh, if Dennis drew Tenpai right there, he might be able to win on the next cut from Tucker.
For that. Huh? Wait, no, that wasn't. Alright, I just thought that hand from Ichigo's Tenpai, but it just got there.
Yeah, choosing to cut the safe 8 So rather than. Oh, it was Furiten on the 9, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. Well, sufficient to cut 6 So here. How much does he want to play for this hand?
Or just, yeah, safe to cut 7-pin.
Going the safety route with Sun Uncle chance, I guess.
Plus, I mean, 3 6-pins are out, so it's like you don't really get much by keeping the
Beach.
7-pin.
He'll take the Tenpai and
Dum.
is going to shut it down. Just the none. Clucks a Riichi stick. Home buzz well. And now it's her first dealership, so she'll have more opportunities for sure. But I imagine we are in full aggression mode.
Yeah, the 2-mon first was to try and summon more pin tiles to the hand. Did not quite work out, but I appreciate the effort.
Ada's got a pretty nice shapes here. Tucker's got the callable east. He wants to speed things along. Dennis. Oh, that knife is actually really helpful. It allows us to use this door in a more efficient way. Yeah. Tucker will call the east, and they've got Ishanten already, actually. 2-mon, 2-pin. Or the tiles of acceptance. Certainly upgrades to be found in the pin zoo. That 3-mon helpful as well. Second door for Dennis. This is looking to be an expensive Riichi should he get to Tenpai.
チ
Oh, the chi. Oh.
Yeah, Isabella here sacrificing the Dora and just saying, I need Tenpai. Just the Shaba would
Right.
wait.
I feel like if we wanted to play that, we could have kept the 2-mon around for those Tanyo tiles, especially over like the south.
Yeah, I suspect this is just matching the call of Tucker.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel great when your hand could have been better.
It's back.
Oh, do we want it back?
We get the 3-mon acceptance. We lose the
Boom.
6-pin. Okay. We're doing it. Now Tucker's actually sweating a little bit here. Does that hand have Dora? Am I scared of this twice open Tanyo hand? Sometimes when you cut 9-pin, 7-pin, when Dora's 8-pin, it's because you have a pair of Dora and you want to keep them all. But
Dennis just throws up the Dora. It is. Oh. Not quite a sushi, but
7-mon Genbutsu, 4-mon Nakasuji, 2-mon. Ooh, lots of pairs for Ada. There's the 2-mon that could have been the wait for Tucker.
Boom.
We'll be safe though. And now Ichigo finds a safe Tenpai.
Yeah, Ada could have been Tenpai there through 3-pin, which I think is reasonable enough with the 5-pin one chance.
Five So Safe just came out. Now, does Tucker trust the 3-pin? Tucker can see the last 5 pins, so yeah, we will believe this. And it is just safe. 2 8mon still residing in the wall.
Suji too, so yeah. I mean, you don't really have anything else to throw. One. Oh.
ロン
Now we'll play it out. We'll deal into the cheap hand. Well,
But it
Hoche
gets a double.
it doubles the value here.
It's like fair enough.
Yeah, Tucker playing with a lot of freedom in this game because of just the massive lead. They can afford to take these gambles.
A nice green dragon draw. Very good Ishanten for Isabella here.
No con, and I believe no calls whatsoever here. Sure, you could Chi 2-mon for Tenpai, you could Chi a 4-7 pin for Tenpai. You want to reach this. These shapes are too good to just win 2,900. The only thing I would consider calling is that green dragon. Just to try to flip Dora 4.
ポン
And I would not call that either, because I believe in reaching more than I believe in flipping Dora from a con.
Yeah, I don't actually know this. Like, if you turn on no calls, does that turn off a closed con call?
It does not. You still get to close con.
Do we like keeping this 5 so here? It's like in a world you could somehow get
ポン
Honitsu, but surely this Tenpai fills in, right?
Yeah, I mean, now we're starting to sweat because other players are opening up. There's
Boom.
another call for Dennis.
Yeah, now you think about turning the calls back on, because if someone gives you that 5-mon, you kind of need it.
That would have been Tenpai for Isabella if Dennis hadn't called, but because he did, Ada draws it instead and gets Tenpai. And we'll probably win on this 5-pin.
Oh, there's
Reach.
Tenpai.
Okay, 2-mon.
Huh.
ツモ
Now there's something for Ada. An expensive one, and just really unfortunate for Isabella, who had such a great starting hand, and the wall was not cooperating.
Yeah, and the
Looks
weight
like
was quickly dying off.
Yeah, all the 2-mons were out, so it's just a penchant essentially at that point.
Well, worse than a Pouchon even, because you don't even get the foo.
That's true. The worst penchant of all time. I guess not the worst. They were still
Yeah.
weights live.
Because with that Ankh of Green, you could sumo and it'd still just be 30 foo.
We start into Ada's dealership.
Yeah, not a great hand. Needs a lot of work there. Lots of bad shapes. Finally gets a single Rionman. No pairs. I guess you have another there, but it's like it kind of looks like 2 conjunts. We got a pair. It's shaping up a little bit.
How desperate are we? Do we call this 2-pin?
Not I don't know.
Not that desperate.
Maybe.
Dennis looks like the firm leader in this hand. Yushinten already. Great call ability.
And more importantly, the pair of Sanzo.
If you call the South, naturally you drop the 4-so for Tenpai, but get this weight instead. So is there any draw here that will shift you into Honitsu? Say you draw 1 mon.
4
Yeah, 1 mon,
7, probably the Dora draw.
147, even 258. Like lots of draws actually.
Yeah. Almost unfortunately for Dennis, the Tuso just came out first.
Yeah, I think Dennis's lead is big enough to just move the dealership along. But if you were behind, I just yeah.
If he was close
Such a bit
to,
of a
to
half
like a
push.
PO or one of these players to change position, I would not have hated to see no Roan, just cut the rest of the Sozu and aim for Honitsu there because that is a nice value swing. But certainly in this position, just finishing positive is really important.
Right. I think maybe if it wasn't Ada as the dealer.
That's another good point. You kind of don't want to ever have Ada on the dealership because I've seen some crazy things happen. Home million dealer runs that end up with Ada over 100,000 points.
Right. I don't think Dennis knows. Maybe knows of the stories.
Yeah, it's funny how there's all of this Arma lore that veteran players are aware of, but the newer players of the league might not be.
And Ada, they're not even going for the efficiency. Just wants to lock in Toy Toy.
We mentioned it before in the first game that we cast. Ada likes Honitsu. Ada likes Toy Toy. Honitsu Toy Toy is just the greatest thing in the world then, right?
Yeah. One so west, one of each. But if Tucker gets 7 so, that's 3-sided Ricci Pinfu. And Adora.
Yeah, willing to jam the 6 mon out, not trusting or not worrying about the Doris Suji.
Right, if anything, I think that's just thinking about throwing
Each.
pay. Because if you get 3, 4, 5, 6, then you can accept another Dora. Slamming the 7 so is a little surprising, though.
Yeah, this
Way,
just
but...
screams I'm dealer. You have to worry about me.
Ada just has to shove no matter what.
Chi.
Absolutely.
Unless it's a Dora draw, I guess. But even then, it's Suji.
Oh, Ichigo holding all the winners.
There's still one.
There's still one. And one of each of
It's
the
1
tiles
versus 2.
for Ada as well. So 1 versus 2. Dennis is he's got Dora 3, so on the right.
Home.
We'll take the Tenpai, 3-6. Ken Shankan. Shideta Khan. One of the Sozu that passes, another Sozu that passes. And players have to be wondering, what is the weight? Oh, it's a 6 that comes into Dennis's hand. Will win the Mangan against 2 other scary Tenpais. And that's going to be 50,000 points for Dennis. Well, with scores like these, he might consider chasing down Pio.
Yeah, I mean, just... There's still, like, EV to fight for. Like, just... Shouldn't be, like, throwing away points, but... It's a little awkward to have your dealership be first.
Yeah, in one hand it is, but on the other hand, there really aren't any players who are willing to just shut it down with a fast end, other than Tucker. Tucker can absolutely just play however they want, but the other 2 players see this dealership as an opportunity to build value because they need value, and so...
Well, it's like they might, but pragmatically, like Ichigo, I'm assuming, would probably just want to like get it over with. I mean, that's not the right word, but it's just like realistically, if I'm at that score with 1 game left, I just want to end it.
I mean, she still has her dealership, so maybe that's the strat. Just get to your dealership and do all of the work there. I always like to try to lessen the amount of work I have to do at my dealership in the rounds leading up to it, but already Tempai for Tucker on the 7 so. Not the greatest way. Will call the Haku if it comes out. Swap to a Tonki, a flexible Tonki, or ooh, Ada's in danger of cutting that 7 and just dealing in. Yeah, nothing better to do but to cut that 7 so out, and it's an expensive, just 2 harm. Tucker will retain the 3rd place, and here we go. Once again, we're in that Zensu position for Ichigo. Must win. Must fight.
It could be a better hand for that. There's a very far away 1-2-3 Sanjaku. Maybe even the right draws. It's also a Junchan, but
yeah, she's looking. She cuts 6 mon. She sees that as a potential value route. You called it. And there's the Dora. So what's next? Just 6 mon again.
6 mon again.
She's going for all the value routes, hedging the 789 Sanchoku, the 123 Sanchoku.
Well, yeah, but not the Pinfu.
Not yet. We'll see. Draws a 1 so maybe Ipeko, if we can get there close.
Definitely can't be Pinfu at this point.
Yes, at this point we've lost the Pifu ability. And yeah, not even hedging, just the reach
actually,
the Dora. Uh-oh, second Dora. Does this change the plan?
I'd at least like throw maybe 9. So
oh my goodness, could we? Oh, non first. I was gonna say Junchan Ryanpeiko.
Junchan Ryanpeiko.
How fancy does that sound? Oh no, we'd be Tempai for it.
No. Would be what a waste.
You could Dama that. That'd be Dama Baimon with Dora too.
It's still that needs the 2-pin or the Sanzo.
Oh, you're right.
The 2
I got a little too excited there. I thought we had the Sanzo already in our hand. Oh my goodness, this still is a ridiculous hand though. Junchan Ipeko Dora. Kinda iranai.
So 9 so.
Yeah, that's acceptable. It doesn't make
9 so safe to 2.
Oh no, the 3-pin.
It's like that. Yeah, it doesn't even because 9-pin and 9 so are dead. So doing that doesn't even really.
Maybe she had a sense that the 2-pin was not live and that the 3-pin 1-pin shape just wasn't good. But unfortunately, that does deal in. Oh, what a tragedy! Because that hand was miraculous, and it just wasn't meant to be.
Massage into the Junshan, but oh well. It does getting the Yakuai quickly. The other shapes are not great though, and is keeping the lone terminals and honors over floaters.
This is an interesting little hand for the dealer. I say interesting because there's a slim chance at 234 Sanchoku, and that always interests me.
It's a pretty good Sanchoku.
1-pin is a door connector, Dennis says. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Was probably thinking about Honitsu with the awkward 1-2 Penchon and just like these terminal tiles and other suits, but now that you can accept Dora, we'll reconsider. Yeah, still angling towards the Honitsu as the route to value. Good draws continue for Ada. Pretty strong Ishanten here. And Ichigo opening up maybe for a Toy Toy Dora Tonki. That's the draw Dennis was looking for. 1 pin out. We'll still hold out for the 2 pin, just in case that gets there, but one more so tile. He's going to break away from that shape in its entirety.
Or even
Yeah, even in
commits
honor.
now.
He's expecting to see the last tune come out eventually, and then he'll get his choice of Taki in the future.
Oh, that's
リー
oh,
チ
So you may be thinking to yourself that Isabella's
地
Tenpai doesn't have a Yaku. But you're forgetting Rinchan.
but
Where there's a
this-
Rinchan,
oh,
there's a way.
she doesn't know there's no more Rinchon tiles, but we
Gee.
know there are no more Rinchon tiles.
Either reach Pifu as expected, Ada getting there first. Eudora.
Could have thrown 4/6 to go back to Toy 1 away, but does not.
Six mon is Genbutsu. Will Tucker just fold completely? Yes. Then probably 8 mon in the future.
I think Dennis has to Chun here.
8 mon was Kabe, so it's not the worst to try, but
ズモ
there's the Tsumo. Reaching Tsumo Pifu. And Una 2.
Ura 2.
Classic,
Very
Una 2.
meaningful Ura 2.
So now that's actually really big for Ada, who was getting very close to that relegation zone. With that win, in a much better position. And if any positive points are great, but if Ada can continue this dealership and chase down Dennis, that would be potentially division saving move. That Uda 2 is so big, and now the hand just improving even more. Chance at 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku, Pinfu, Dora. Just the absolute nuts in this hand.
Yeah, Ada really needs those. And hits them often enough as well.
Indeed. Chance Tanyo shift for Dennis will be 9, so just because of the Dora immediately. Likes the potential end weight of Entotsu good enough to just cut the Dora. Every now and then you draw the 6-0 and you feel a little bit sad that you cut the door so early, but there's the Tenpai. You could make an argument to Dama. There are a number of tiles that will improve the weight or the value.
Right. But if that 1 mon just comes out, be a little sad.
Oh, how about that weight 1 turn? Now, I still want a Dama
リーチ
because if
but
we win on
that's
the
your
1 mon,
improvement.
if we win on the 1 mon, it's not even Sanchoku.
That is true. And there are quite a few things you could draw.
Oh, like that
do
6 mon for
that.
3-sided. Oh.
Yeah, this is my fault for not giving Dennis a lecture of waiting yet another turn.
You gave him the wait 1 turn lecture, but not the wait 2 turns follow-up lecture. Still a lot to learn.
Oh, I'll have to make it for next year.
Oh man, Ada is not only getting the Sanchoku and the Pihu and the door and everything, just also the Tanyo. Why not have it all if you're gonna win? There are no 1 mons left in the wall. That is good news.
Could have even cheated the Dora earlier, but declined it.
The bad news
Don't.
is it's gonna come out, yeah. Richi, Nomi. Does hit an Uda,
Richie or,
but oh. What could have been? What could have been? I mean, I actually don't recall seeing a 4-pin or 7-pin come out, so maybe that was the only way to win. And Dennis sitting at 51k
ポン
is looking at a, let's see, 15 points added to 21 is 36. That's not a bad haul. Get him up to 47 points. Be a very decent ending position. Hard for someone like Xiangyu or Andrew to catch up to. And you always have the chance of Pio or Mary Jane dropping down below. So giving himself a chance at bonus promo spots.
Yeah, and Tucker has a very good Michi Pinfu with some draws that could turn into a Sanchoku.
It's just begging for the 5-mon draw. That would be the best intermediate draw to allow yourself to get Richi Pinfu, Tanyao, Sanshoku.
6-mon would work as well.
It will indeed. The only problem with the 6-mon is that sometimes we just get Tempai. Like we pair up 7-8 pin or something like that.
Right, but you could just reject Tempai.
Perfect Ishanten now for Ongui. And Tempai found.
But we are gonna wait one turn at least.
Because not only does the 6-mon give us Sanshoku, but the 9-mon does as well.
リーチ
Alright, wait one turn, didn't get rewarded. Now, is this another spot where, you know, you should also wait 2 turns?
I think, well, not because of where Tucker is in the standings. It's like I wouldn't even like take a win unless I got the improvement.
Unfortunately, oh, Ada has to actually be a little bit careful here. Yeah, okay, there's the improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will save
Quite a big
Ichigo,
one.
who can now cut the 6-pin without dealing in. And of course, Ichigo going for that monster Chinitsu. Almost certainly thinking about 9 gates, Chiden. Oh, there's
Sumo.
the Sumo.
But what if? What if
It's a
we
lot
had
cheaper than it
Tanya
could
and
have been.
Sanchoku for
Hanemon.
Hanemon? Yeah, it's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter, but for like
It really
padding
doesn't.
stats or like
The
just like, at
18,000
this point,
points
I'm like,
does
I'm gonna
feel really,
promote.
really
If
nice.
if I'm gonna like delay my or like delay whatever I'm doing for the rest of the day, I want to get something out of it. You know, good stats, big hand, the top spot. Yeah, the top spot is the argument. Although, I guess Michael could just fall.
Yeah, Michael also doesn't have much to play for at the top of the division, can just play very conservatively and maybe bleed out a couple 3rd places, but will be totally fine. I think, though, most players in that spot, they just play pretty aggressively to advance the game state. Again, if Tucker just passes the dealership, then the game ends. But these hands are too good to just pass the dealership.
Right. I mean, you'd say that, but it's like taking that Ricci Pinfu earlier, or if it's just Ricci Pinfu, I don't know. It's not great.
I mean, it's a very normal thing to do. Ooh, do you like Diamond Yami?
Normal
no,
in maybe like normal circumstances, but these are not normal circumstances. I
リーチ
would throw the 8-9 so there, yeah. It's probably like not what I should do, but it's a sign. It's a sign to keep that one.
Now look at this. Because Tucker discarded the first one, can now get Diamond. Okay, I guess he would have been
Yeah, or
Tempai.
just get the template there, but
Okay, it's
Gets
Senpai
Tenpai
anyway.
anyway.
No, Widama, right?
Nah.
But
I mean,
Sanchoku. That's Sanchoku.
Sanji.
We can do
I
it
mean,
again. We can do it
but
again.
yeah, I guess.
Yeet.
Not even gonna Sumogiri Riichi Tucker.
Look, Tucker learned the lesson. Learned the lesson from the first
No,
end.
Wrong.
Oh. Well, if anything, the lesson was that. Well, I will hope Tucker learns the lesson when they listen back to this. If they listen back to this,
For all we know, the game has ended, and Tucker is in the chat right now. I see other
that
people.
is a possibility.
Yeah. Other people sometimes just play while watching themselves on the stream. I don't know how they do that. My brain cannot handle looking at my hand from the past and my hand from the future at the same time.
I just let go of the past and the future. That's how I do it.
Let's release it all. Another like insane hand for Tucker that it's like, why am I getting these now when it has absolutely no meaning? Can't I save some of these for the next season? Can't I save some of these for the invitational in January?
Each.
Apparently not.
This time no
Does
upgrades.
anyone
So
have a
it's
chance?
Richie Slam.
You have to think ahead. You have to get a 6-mon and the 6, but you have to foresee it. There are no upgrades if you don't believe in them.
Wise
Are they
words
going
once
to
again.
happen? But probably not. But they could.
4 tiles in the wall for this wait. With the way this game is going, I'm expecting Atsumo.
See, can anyone stop this?
Tennis, maybe?
That's a maybe. Doesn't take the chi for it, though.
Still 2 away. It's not great.
Yeah, Ada also 2 away.
This is actually kind of tricky for Dennis to play.
No,
Okay,
Ada's 1 away. 2 Ryamen.
But another spot where
no longer 2 away.
Ada really doesn't want to deal into a Tila Ricci. Like that's just the worst outcome here. Because you'll most likely drop below 30,000 points and you'll lose your placement. And that's a net loss of like...
Dennis is Tempe now, waiting on a just pass Butsu, though.
15 to 20 points.
Wrong.
That's the perfect timing. Perfect timing to cut that A pin. And that will preserve second place for Ada, plus 7.5. Dennis take the 39.1 first place. And the standings now up to 50.8. Strong finish here for Dennis in the final session. Tucker takes a third place, dips below 30,000 after losing that Ricci stick. But you know what? That is totally fine. Ends the season with plus 204.9. Will be promoting into the B1 division next season, making the climb back to A1. For Isabella, it was a rough session. When you're down in the standings, you have to make big moves, and Isabella certainly gave us some great attempts. The wall did not cooperate this time around. And looking at Ada in the standings here, it's going to be a tight one. Fingers crossed. Just wait and see what happens. A lot yet to play for in this B2 division. And we'll try to cover as much of it as we can. I have played my games already this season, which means I'm free to broadcast a lot more. And it's session 6, it's my favorite session, so I'll certainly be attempting to broadcast as much as I can. And so definitely, folks, look forward to that. No more games for the evening tonight, but certainly we will be catching as much of the drama as we can. Big note for next week. One of the games that in particular that I'll be looking forward to watching on Tuesday and Wednesday next week in Division A1, Amy will be challenging to take the throne, take the title, take the seat, the final seat for the championship table. And she'll be playing a split session on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday. So you'll definitely want to tune in, especially that Wednesday, to see if she can pull it off. That being said, I want to shout out Dustin. Big thanks for tuning in, for helping me out in the commentary.
Anytime, Nathaniel. Especially when I can watch Dennis and Barb.
Very good.
I don't remember if that was there, but a welcome surprise to be sure.
Yeah, they're fantastic games tonight. We got to hear the Sansa wisdom from Dustin. And folks, I know session 6 is so dramatic that if you're not already a part of the league, you must be itching to get in. But I have bad news for you. Well, maybe slightly bad news. The registration deadline has technically surpassed. However, if you want to squeeze in, there is a small chance that you'll be able to, if you register right now at AmericanRicci.org, you will be waitlisted, and if a spot becomes available, and there is a chance that there may be a couple spots available, then you might be able to slot in for the next season. But you'll want to do so before the season ends. So, and of course, the sooner you register, the more likely it is that you'll be able to get one of those waitlisted spots. So, AmericanReach.org is the place to go for that registration. It's also the place to go if you want to follow all of the standings. Of course, we saw several different divisions, B1, B2, B3. And we missed the C1 games earlier today. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to taking a look at those results. But if you want to see what happened in those games, check out the website. Not only will you see the standings, but also the logs in chronological order as they came in for all of the divisions. So I'll certainly be checking that out to see the games that I missed and the results that came in. And of course, if you'd like to follow all of our other socials, you can find us on Twitter and YouTube as well, at American Ricci for both. That being said, looking forward to catching you all on our next broadcast. For Dustin, Nathaniel, wishing you all a good night.